Next, I have a panel, Rep. Gentile and Mena Sheth. Hopefully I said that correctly. If not, you can correct me. S1619 and H2557, an act relative to requiring trauma kits in public buildings. Welcome.
Chair Decker, Chair Driscoll, members of the Joint Committee, Public Health, thank you for the opportunity to testify today, and thank you for taking me out of turn. I'm joined by Mena Sheth, a student at Concord-Carlisle Regional High School and one of my constituents. We're here in support of House 2557 and S1619, an act requiring life-serving trauma kits in public buildings, also known as the Massachusetts Trauma Response Preparedness Act, filed by our colleagues, Representative Marcus Vaughn and Senator Mike Rush. I learned about these bills thanks to Mena, who reached out to me earlier this year to introduce herself and share her experience as certified instructor for the American College of Surgeons Stop the Bleed program with me. I'm grateful that Mena reached out to me. It's always wonderful to see young people who are passionate about creating positive change and engaging in the legislative process. More than that, I think the concept behind these bills is a great idea, and which is why I co-sponsored the bill. In an emergency scenario, say a teacher slips down a staircase in school or a trial court officer is injured in an altercation, a timely intervention could easily save the person's life. We already have brave and capable people like Mena who are willing to act in such a scenario. What we need is for more bystanders like her to be easily equipped with the tools and training they need to save a life. I see these bills as a cost-effective public health investment. If passed, they would ensure that trauma kits are available in many of the most frequently used buildings in the state, and that individuals in those spaces know how to use them. While I support the goals of these bills, I believe there are ways the language could be improved and tightened. For example, I would suggest deleting the language which amends Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, Section 5, the Community Preservation Act law, which I view as outside the scope of this legislation. I hope that the committee will consider taking a serious look at these bills, refining the language, and reporting out a redrafted version that's ready for consideration by both chambers. With that, I'd like to turn things over to Mena now to share more about why this legislation matters to her.
Good morning, Chair Decker and Chair Driscoll and distinguished committee. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Mena Sheth. I'm a senior at Concord-Carlisle High School, and I'm supporting the Massachusetts Trauma Response Preparedness Act. If passed, this act will bring trauma kits to public locations such as schools, town halls, transportation facilities, and sports venues. It additionally requires that at least one staff member per building is educated on how to use the kit. Each kit will contain a tourniquet, gauze, and gloves. They will also contain instruction manuals, so they're useful for not only those with formal training, but for everyone. Each year, approximately 60,000 people in the US die from blood loss. Each of these people is a family member, a friend, a loved one. However, uncontrolled bleeding is also the leading cause of preventable death after injury. So many of these people could have been saved if they had received care sooner. I am a trained and certified instructor for the American College of Surgeons Stop the Bleed program, and I've been working with Representative Gentile to promote Stop the Bleed and this bill. As an instructor, my responsibility is to teach the staff of public building the three main techniques to stop uncontrolled bleeding: pressure, packing, and tourniquets. Through my own instructor training, as well as through the people I have trained, I have experienced firsthand and enabled the empowerment of everyday citizens. The people of this Commonwealth want to help those around them. According to the American Red Cross, a person can bleed out in under 5 minutes, but the average response time for a 911 call is 10 minutes. By the time those first responders arrive, it is often too late. What happens in those 10 minutes comes down to bystander response and whether or not these kits are available. Anyone can save a life if they have the right materials, and I would like to give a brief demonstration of how these can be useful. So this is just simple gauze, okay? And in its place, you can use a t-shirt if you don't have the kit, but you can use simple pressure on the wound if it's a more shallow wound, and you can stop the bleeding. Or if it's a larger, deep wound, you can use the packing technique to put the gauze within the wound. And the kit also contains a tourniquet, where in more extreme cases with more heavy bleeding and pressure and packing do not work, you can actually stop the blood flow completely. These kits should be as standard as AEDs and regular first aid kits, because they are certainly as important. Please pass the Massachusetts Trauma Response Preparedness Act. It is truly life or death. Thank you.
Thanks, Mena. Thank you for your compelling testimony. I like the idea of empowering everyday citizens to help folks around them. And it's a certainly interesting proposal that we will take a look at.
Mena, I just want to say thank you. You are really just inspiring to be a high school student and to have taken this on yourself. I think there's a lot of first responders in this room who are probably equally impressed and wondering when you'll join their ranks. But thank you for caring enough about your community and taking action, seeing a problem and trying to figure out a solutions. I promise you, we actually look at every bill seriously, and we will certainly be looking at this one. So thank you.
Thank you.